If we consider the worst thing we ever did in life, would we want the whole of our life to be judged on that one single act? Would we want people to think that that is the very essence of us? My name is Mary Hardiman. I'm from Stockport in Cheshire, and I've been writing to men on death row for about 4 years now. When I read a letter from somebody on death row, I just find it absolutely fascinating because they've got so many rich and varied things to talk about. They don't always talk about what life is like on the row itself, but they'll talk about their life experiences before, what the hopes and dreams are. But I do find it really interesting when they do talk about how life is and the conditions in which they live, which are absolutely horrendous. I consider myself a friend to these people, and what I would say is that I can't imagine that they could get anything more out of the friendships than I do. I really, really enjoy it. The letters, when they do come, are a source of interest, of joy, of friendship, of love. It's so rich and varied. I really, really love getting letters from them. When I first went into the prison, going through the security was quite nerve-wracking, but actually getting into the visitation room and meeting the prisoner was a really, really fantastic experience. Because obviously we'd got to know one another through the letters. I'd seen photographs, but actually seeing my pen friend Chucky face to face was a wonderful experience. And when I spoke to him as a friend, he was natural, he was interesting, he was funny, he was just really, really good company for the time I was with him. The most surprising thing about meeting my friend on death row was how quickly the time went. I was with him for 4 hour visits, and you would think that in that time you'd kind of run out of things to say, but at no point did either of us ever run out of anything to say. The conversation kept going. It was funny, it was sad, it was poignant, it was exciting, it was exhilarating, it was everything that you could possibly ask for within a friendship. If people do judge me for writing to men on death row, then what I would say to them is that if we consider the worst thing we ever did in life, would we want the whole of our life to be judged on that one single act? Would we want people to think that that is the very essence of us? Because we are, all of us, I think, worth so much more than the worst thing we ever did. And whilst I don't condone violence, I don't condone what any of these people have done, I do think that it's a human-to-human, spirit-to-spirit contact between me and these men, and that's what's important to me as a Catholic. I think it's really important to see the bigger picture of everybody, to stop asking what's wrong with these people and start asking what's happened to these people. And when we do that, I think we can see the world through a far more compassionate lens. We can see that in a split second, everybody can make the wrong decision, which has devastating consequences for everybody. But I do think it's important that we see the whole person rather than just the thing that they've done. If somebody wanted to write to a pen friend on death row, what I would say to that person is it's always a really good idea to go through a charity such as Lifelines, because they do offer some very practical and emotional support, but also to remember that this is something that you have to do in the long term. It's not a short-term friendship. It has to have longevity, because these men and women have experienced a lot of rejection and a lot of unkindness, and so you really have to be in it for the duration, whatever that might bring.